Another type of document that you might link to from your Moodle page is a Google document, whether it be a Google presentation or a Google spreadsheet or a plain old word processing Google document. Let me show you a couple examples on existing pages of people who have linked to Google documents. At the high school, we have a syllabus template in Google Documents. Our teachers make a copy of that so that they all look relatively similar. So here's an example at the top of Mrs. Slindy's page of a link to her syllabus, which is in a Google document. She had it open up in a pop-up window instead of a new tab. So that is a Google document, and it acts as the syllabus for her health science class. All right, I'm going to close that pop-up window, and then we'll hop into a elementary class or page, a Moodle page, and this is Monica Grubb, sixth grade teacher at Gatewood. And I noticed that she has a welcome letter at the top. So when I click on that welcome letter, this also is opening up in a pop-up window. You can set it to open up in a tab, a new tab. In fact, I think that's the default. But it is the Welcome to Sixth Grade letter, and it has been created in Google Documents. Now, one of the beauties of this type of a document to link to is that if one small thing changes, like for example, let's say that next year the sixth graders eat at 11:45 instead of 1:25. You could go into this Google document via your Google Drive and just change the time, and you would have to do nothing to Moodle because the Moodle is just linking to the document, and so there are like live updates to your changes. So that's a nice thing about linking to a Google document. Now the last example I'm going to show you is where you might link to a Google document for the intention of students making their own copy of the Google document as a part of their digital work. So I'm on Catherine Anderson's page. Now you're going to have to forgive her many documents in her civil rights movement here, or unit, because remember that many of these are hidden so the students don't see them. But I noticed at the bottom that there are two links to Google Documents. One is this link to a Google document, which are Cornell notes. So that opens in a new tab. And I know that Catherine has Chromebooks in her class, so I know her intention here is that students link to this, they go up to the File menu, they make a copy of this document, and then they can take notes right in this template for a note-taking technique. So in this case, the intent is to really provide a file for students to edit individually. And then the second one there, the bubble map, when I click on it, it opens Google Drawing. And again, a student could make their own copy of this. So they go down under the File menu to make a copy, and then they could complete this assignment as well and then share it with their teacher, or in Moodle, they could provide a link to their version of it. So those are all examples of how we can integrate or marry Google Docs. Any type of a Google document can be accessible to a student via their Moodle page. So now it's time to learn how to do this. I am on a Google document. I just made a copy of Kirsten Slindy's syllabus, her health science syllabus. It's a Google document. I'm in my Google Drive. I have the document open. By default, if you have created a document in Google, it will be private. You can look in the upper right-hand corner and see indication of that through that little padlock right there. So if I'm gonna make it available to other people, I have to share it. And in this case, I'm not gonna choose individual people to share it with, but I wanna just have it be made public. So that means that I don't want it to be a private document. So see where it says that it's private? That's what I wanna change. I want to make it available to anyone who has a link to it because I'm going to link to it from my Moodle page. I'm going to save those changes. And then at the top, already selected or highlighted is the actual web address or link or URL. Those three words are basically synonymous. So I'm going to copy that. I either go up to the edit menu and go down to copy, or I could also use my shortcut on my keyboard, which is Command C for copy. I then click done, and I'm going to link to it from my Moodle page. So I'm at Kirsten's page, and the way that you would do that is first you have to turn editing on, so that you have an option to add an activity or a resource. Could be in your top block. It could be in any block below that. I'm going to add an activity or a resource, and I am going to choose a URL. This Google document of yours is really like a public web page now. So I'm going to click on URL, click Add. I'm going to give the title. So I'm going to call this my course syllabus. I'm going to go down to the external URL and paste it there. And then this is a required field as well. If I don't want to put in any extra details about what that document is all about, I can just paste in the title or copy and paste in the title. I click Save and Return to my course. And by default, so when I click on this, by default, the document will open in a new tab unless I change those appearance settings. So the key thing here is you have to make the document in Google Public, and then you link to it from your Moodle page as if it is another web page.